My name is Justice Allotey, and I am 31 years of age. I currently juggle a few things. I work as an intern for Open Education Global. It's a global non-profit that is championing open education across the world. I also freelance as a digital marketer, as a photographer. My diagnosis is severe anxiety disorder, but recently I've been having a bit of ADHD. I did a self test, so now I've also started seeing my therapist, which we've taken a few tests that I'm yet to find the results of. So when I say severe anxiety, um, I'm saying a situation where I am very anxious over extended period. There are even periods where I might be having a good spell, like something great is going on in my life, and then it will turn out to make me even much more anxious. And I think I started noticing it after a friend started a support group some years ago, Purple People, and then I joined the support group because the thing she was describing was making sense to me because it was things that I was also feeling. So then I joined and then I had to start therapy because I went to see a psychologist, did a test, and that was the results that came out. So over the years, it manifests in different ways, but then I can be very hyper happy, but then my anxiety levels will be up. I might be sad and then I might not even feel anything. So yeah, that's how mine works like. And so one of the main things that happened to me is when I keep forgetting a task that I'm supposed to do, and then I'm waiting till last day or deadline day to work. It makes me like my episodes like gets there. I'll be sweaty. I'll be restless, and then I might be working, but then my mind would be actually trying to finish the task on time rather than taking my time in doing the work and all that. But then I feel like when I'm off work, I'm in my very quiet moments. The only time I'm anxious or anything is when I'm working and when probably I have to meet some deadline or I need to submit something. Those are like things that trigger me. For me, I don't get sweaty palms or any of that. It's just me in my mind and like processing things at a pace that it shouldn't be processed. So I might be actually trying to finish a task, but then because I'm anxious, I might be thinking of maybe something that I know is not yet time to do. So racy, like my heart palpitations goes up, and also like I try not to eat. I starve myself when I'm in my anxious moment, even though I know I've tried to build like resistance over some of these things. I've noticed that those resistance actually is triggering those emotions over the time. So I'm trying to find a way to not deal with those things and then find proper ways to mitigate when I'm anxious. So to describe that, it's just like picturing me sitting behind my computer and then not being able to even achieve something over 2 hours. I can be looking at those tasks. I can do the tasks in like 30 minutes. But it will take me like almost getting to 4 hours to complete such a task. And this makes like if I don't go anywhere, I'll be sitting at the same place for a long period of time. And it's usually not good for me because When I sit for long hours, it affects my back, my legs, and I don't have proper decks at home like a chair. So I'm now getting them. So all those things come into play, and for the heart racing, you could feel like something is wrong when I start feeling like my heart beats going up because I try to check with my watch anytime I'm in my stable condition. So when I'm in a stable condition and I can feel it, I feel like there was something is wrong somewhere. So back in the time, one of the things I thought I could escape with was alcohol. Anytime I had any severe anxiety, I go sit somewhere, try to drink. But then over time, I noticed that the alcohol even doesn't work. It still gives me those thoughts that and those feelings that I've been feeling. I might drink and get drunk, but then I was still feeling shitty than I was before. So I think that is one of the ways in which my anxiety, the coping mechanism doesn't work. Also, I felt like if I could speak to people a lot, sit somewhere, have a chat, I might go down. But over time, too, it doesn't always work. So those are like the two things that I can say that I thought was helping me that I didn't. It's more of like, oh, I think I'm feeling better. But then I go back and then the things that you are supposed to do is staring at you in the face. So it means it didn't work. You just prolonged it for just a few hours. And that's it. So far, I think I've had the best experience because my first therapist that I used to see was very helpful. And then back in the day too, we had like a very good support group that we were. It was also very helpful. But then everybody got busy, so the support group didn't. I think another it was awesome. Our support group, I think, was one of some of the first support group that I also got to know about it since I started mental health advocacy serious, and I also went to do a test myself, and then I came out with a diagnosis. And it was always refreshing being in the support group because we were constantly doing new things and then people joined that were in bad places and then after a while they got better and then like well it's actually made it better because over the time I've been able to understand myself better and I actually know when I'm having an attack. Back in the day, I might be going through an attack and I wouldn't even know what is going on, and I'll be thinking it's something else. But then, over the time, I've been able to build that knowledge mentally, and I know when I'm in a good mood or when I'm not. So it's helped me over time, and seeing a lot of people, meeting a lot of people, also has helped over time as well because we met people who have I might have like very serious issues and we've been able to help them get over those issues and though for me that is joy. For me, what self-diagnosis did was to actually confirm a little bit of the symptoms that I thought I was exhibiting and then move on to actually see a therapist to actually confirm because they can better guide me regarding which spectrum I'm on the scale. So for me, yes, I don't think self-diagnosis is good for general part, but then at least it helps you to better understand yourself and then it helps you with a lot of information to actually speak to a qualified therapist.